Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Tom pays Poppy a surprise visit, and Steffi catches Hope kissing Thomas. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Forrester, Hope reminds Thomas how good they were together. That's what makes it so difficult to understand him asking Paris to marry him. Thomas reminds her she said no twice. You have to know what that did to me. Hope cries out her regrets. Thomas says he had to move on. Hope asks, so soon? With Paris Buckingham. Don't marry her. In the design office, Paris knows Ridge and Steffi must be shocked about the engagement. This isn't the way they wanted to break the news. Ridge assures her they're excited, but his son went to France to recover and refocus his life. Paris says his time away has changed him. Hope is his past and she's his future. She's confident in Thomas' commitment to her. Steffi sighs, I hope you're right. At El Giardino, Tom thinks about Deacon telling him Bill is Luna's father and about spilling water on Poppy. He shakes his head, looks around, and then searches for Bill Spencer's address on a tablet. After he writes it down, Deacon appears to talk about him playing guitar and asks if he has stage fright. Tom can't thank him enough. Deacon crows that the Tom Storas comeback show is good publicity. Tom's not sure how many of his old fans will come out of the woodwork, but back in the day it was a blast. Deacon walks off again, and Tom pulls out the napkin with Bill's address on it. At Bill's place, Poppy enters the room as Luna tells her that Bill has checked in 3 times already today. This is a whole new world for them. At El Giardino, Tom is still studying his napkin when Shyla walks up. They have a conversation about everyone deserving second chances. She recaps that she's made mistakes in her past, but who hasn't? What she does know is that they're all capable of change. Tom agrees. I've led many lives over the years. Shyla recalls that he saved her life. She'll be forever thankful. She chooses to see him as he is now, not as the other person he hints at. She hopes he'll do the same for her. Deacon reappears and says the PA is ready for tonight. Tom marvels that he's gearing up for his first show in years after being on the streets. Deacon can't help him enough for saving Shyla's life. Tom says he's saving his in more ways that he knows. In the main office, Hope recaps that refusing his proposal was not about how much she loved him. Thomas thought if he kept proposing, she'd eventually say yes, but she didn't, so he had to go. Hope gulps that she wishes he hadn't. Everything could be different now. What she doesn't understand is the complete 180 his life has taken, engaged to Paris with Douglas calling her mom. How does that happen? It is too fast and you know it. In the design office, Paris brings up the horrible things her dad did. Ridge and Steffi assure her they don't hold that against her, or Zoe, who got caught up in it. Paris reflects that she loved someone who couldn't commit and swore she'd protect her heart at all costs, but I didn't need to worry. Thomas was there protecting it for me. Ridge expresses concern. Paris vows that Thomas opened up to her and can now see a future where he can be happy with someone other than Hope. She trusts him, even around Hope. In the main office, Thomas wonders if Hope thinks he proposed to Paris on the rebound. Hope chuckles, you tell me given that you proposed to me not too long ago. Thomas explains how he reconnected with Paris in France. He is not getting any younger. He wants another child. I want a family. Hope asks, with Paris, so she is your future now? Thomas saw how his sister moved on from the toxic relationship with Liam. Now she's happy. Don't you want that for me? He wouldn't have proposed to Paris if he didn't think they could make a go of it. Paris is who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. She's going to be my wife. At Bill's place, Luna and Poppy recap how things have worked out. Luna gets a call from RJ and leaves the room. The doorbell rings. Poppy opens the door to Tom, who says, "Pizza delivery, Poppy." Poppy hisses, "Tom, what are you doing here?" Tom tells Poppy that when he saw her at Il Giardino, he thought he should stop by. He got the address from the delivery system. Nice digs. Poppy tells him he needs to leave. Tom warns, "Don't play games with me, Poppy." Poppy doesn't know what he's talking about. Tom thinks she knows exactly what he's talking about. Poppy threatens to call security. Tom says he just brought her a pizza. Poppy snaps, "A pizza I didn't order." Tom insists he's coming in peace. He hasn't forgotten her and he knows she hasn't forgotten him. Poppy tells him he needs to leave now. Suddenly, Luna appears. Poppy says the man was just delivering pizza. Tom scuttles off. At Il Giardino, Deacon wonders to Shiloh why Tom isn't back to do a sound check. When he found out Tom used to be in a band, he thought it would be good buzz for the place. He recaps that if it weren't for Tom, he wouldn't have found her. Shiloh muses that there's still so much they don't know about the man. Deacon asks, "You think Tom has secrets?" Shiloh replies, "Doesn't everyone?" In the design office, Paris tells Ridge and Steffi that she and Thomas are on the same page. "We want a family." She knows it's a big step, especially when there's a little boy to consider, but she plans to make the Forrester family proud. Steffi says Hope put Thomas through hell. "I'm really grateful you're in his life now." In the main office, Thomas tells Hope as much as Douglas loves her, he loves Paris too. They're creating their own little family. Soon, they'll be married and it will be official. Hope decides she'll have to accept his decision. "Please know, Thomas, I will always want what's best for you. Despite all that's happened between us, I will always love you." Steffi looks in the door as Hope kisses him. She ducks back out and then Thomas leaves. Hope sighs. Steffi comes back in and asks if she really thought that kiss was all it would take for her brother to come running back to her. She informs her she needs to respect Thomas' decision. He proposed to her twice and she turned him down. "So don't even think about hurting or disappointing my brother again." Thomas Forrester had always been a man of complexities. On this particular day, he was a man on a mission. His sister Steffi had warned him to tread lightly with Hope Logan, but the chemistry between them was undeniable. However, today's drama wasn't about him. It was about his father, Ridge, and his secret visit to Poppy. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over Los Angeles, but the unfolding drama was anything but serene. Tom Parker, better known as Ridge Forrester, had been harboring a secret. Poppy, an old flame, had re-entered his life, stirring up memories and emotions he thought he'd buried long ago. Ridge knew he had to see her to make sense of his feelings, and today was the day. He parked his car a few blocks away from Poppy's apartment, not wanting to draw any attention. As he approached her building, his heart raced. What would he say? What could he say? Poppy was startled by the knock on her door. She wasn't expecting anyone, least of all Ridge Forrester. As she opened the door, her breath caught in her throat. There he stood, looking as dashing as ever, yet with a vulnerability in his eyes that she hadn't seen before. "Ridge," she breathed, her voice barely a whisper. "What are you doing here?" Ridge took a deep breath, his gaze locking onto hers. "I had to see you, Poppy. There's so much left unsaid between us." Meanwhile, at Forrester Creations, the tension between Hope Logan and Thomas Forrester had reached a fever pitch. Their professional relationship had always been complicated by their personal history. Today they were working late on a new collection. The office was quiet, the only sound the rustle of fabric and the occasional click of a mouse. "Thomas, I think we need to add more lace to this design," Hope suggested, her eyes sparkling with creativity. Thomas nodded, but his thoughts were elsewhere. He couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was about to happen. As they leaned over the same design board, their hands brushed. A spark ignited and suddenly, they were kissing. It wasn't planned, it wasn't expected, but it felt right. Just as suddenly, the door to the office swung open and there stood Steffi Forrester, her eyes wide with shock. "Hope. Thomas," she exclaimed, her voice a mix of disbelief and anger. "What is going on here?" Hope pulled away from Thomas, her face flushed with embarrassment. Steffi, it's not what it looks like.